What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. Terrence Bud Crawford versus Israel Madrimov. So I salute to both of them. Came up to do what they had to do. Now this conversation about this decision. There's a lot of people saying that they think both guys have people saying that they think the other guy won. Me, because I don't do bias, I'm not emotionally invested into no damn fighter. I'm always going to give you what I feel and what I see. No, I don't do the popular demand thing. In my opinion, I think Crawford won the fight. Okay. But I feel like Crawford, the way when you're called the pound for pound best fighter in the world, with Madrimov only having 11 pro fights, even for the people that were saying how deadly this guy is, when they watch this fight and Crawford doesn't smoke him like everybody, like the Crawford fans that was being honest thought he was. And I'm looking at this guy like, Crawford coming up to this weight class, I saw experience, determination, and IQ. Okay, versus athleticism. A lot of upper body movement. But let's just be honest, man. Madrimov wasn't letting his hands go. Crawford was fighting in spurts also. They both were trying to feel each other out. And for Crawford, it was more like, okay, let me fight smart. Don't get caught in nothing unnecessary. Okay, he ate some shots. He was able to take the shots. And, Madrimov was able to take Crawford shots. When Crawford did engage more, you could see the difference with the hand speed. Crawford was getting hit more when he was sitting down in his punches. And those exchanges where he'd sit down and try to, put some hurt on him. I'm not trying to be funny, man. I'm being straight up. I hear Sean Porter and them saying this is a great fight. If that's how they see it, that's how they see it. I wasn't really entertained by the fight, but I understand boxing. I understand what has to be done. The fighters doing what they have to do. Doesn't make a difference. It's over now. Crawford got his hand raised. There's that. The commentary team was also trying to make it seem like it was a great, great, great fight. Now, once again, if that's how they saw it, that's how they saw it. One thing I'm going to tell you is this. Madrimov only having 11 pro fights. There's still a lot of guys, okay? There's more than 11 guys in the division, okay? Somebody may knock him out, and then people go, or beat him, or really beat him, and then people go, damn, that's what Crawford was supposed to do. Just people love to do that. Me personally, looking at what I saw, I think Crawford shouldn't go higher than 154. I think Crawford should look at 154, try to become undisputed like he plans, and if Jamel Charlo, I've heard Jamel Charlo and his brother was fully back in the gym. I don't know, him and Jamel Charlo, Fundo, whoever's holding titles. I feel like, in all honesty, namesake as well. Jamel Charlo, if the rematch happens with Spence, she beat Fundora, and just call it a day. I didn't need this fight to tell you guys what I've already said a million times already, and I'm going to say it again tonight. Canelo will knock Crawford out. The only way I see Canelo really not winning this fight, if he fought Crawford, the only way I see him not winning is if he just done got light in the ass, then got soft, and he no longer cares about fighting elite guys, and he just go in there and underestimate Crawford and just don't train the way he's supposed to or nothing. Now, do you really think that Canelo's going to do that? Like, him fighting Berlanga is the easy way out to not fight Benavidez. So he clearly ducked Benavidez. Okay? We saw David Morrell, and he's fighting at 175, so he's out of the picture. So we don't even, that's not even the fight that's going to happen with Canelo at all. Okay? Benavidez says he's standing at 175. So when you look at what Canelo's doing and who he has left, Crawford is 2 weight divisions down. Okay. So for him, it's like, I don't really think if he watched this fight tonight, Canelo, he just might say, you know what, I'll fight him after I go beat up on Berlanga. He just might fight him. And if it's a big money fight, I don't really think people watch this fight tonight feel like Crawford's stock went up. He won the fight, and I think a lot of people were happy for Crawford. But I don't feel like his performance make people really feel like, yo, yeah, Canelo and Crawford, that's the fight. I honestly, listen, I respect boxing. I respect a sharp mind. Crawford, we know the guy can box, and I told you guys, his legs aren't what they used to be. That's why you see him, when he's moving, just little, lateral movement, little side to side. Just, he can't stand in front of Canelo. See, people, I can see people right now saying, but it's going to be different, see, because Canelo don't move his upper body as much as, Madrimov did, and he's not that elusive like that. No, he doesn't have to fight with all the upper body movement like that. Canelo comes in with the high guard, he moves his head, slips, comes in. The thing about it is this: Crawford has quick hands, but so does Canelo. Okay? Difference is this: when Crawford throws his punches quick, they don't have a lot on them. When he sits down on his punches, that's when he have more zip on them. But that's also when he gets cracked. And then too, if you've seen this fight and you still don't realize, Canelo hits a hell of a lot harder than Madrimov does. Okay, and he has quicker hands and better technique. Madrimov studying Crawford and all his movement, a lot of what you saw was frustration, right? They trying to figure each other out. And with Crawford, it was more like, okay, I see what you're trying to do, but I'm being cautious. And I'm landing my shots, I'm getting my shots in, and then the whole thing was, the rounds weren't very eventful. So when Crawford is landing his shots, and then here, how usually a fighter take the end of the round, Crawford was like doing the majority earlier in the rounds. He'd catch him, and, I don't know. There's rounds that the judges gave Madrimov where I'm going, okay, whatever. And then there's rounds where it was a lackluster fight to me. I watched it and I'm sitting there like, okay, I see what's going on. I get it. Right? Okay. Here's what it is. I don't really feel like Crawford impressed anybody enough, really, to think that him and Canelo is going to be a great fight. I think Canelo will knock Crawford out. Like, I'm like, there's nothing Crawford showed me that makes me feel like, that he's gonna go 12 rounds. He's not. And we've seen Canelo get outboxed. in the past, and you know he'll come from like like Kell Brook's situation. Just say for example, Amir Khan. There's a couple people that was outboxing him, and he comes back and knocked him out. Now, for all of the people that like to say, "Oh, Canelo got way better since he fought Floyd," no, he didn't. No, he didn't. It's the same Canelo, minus, you know, uh, um, him being in a position to pick and choose who he wants to fight. Same Canelo, and pretty much, yeah, he's more seasoned of a fighter. He knows he's always patient. Canelo was always a patient fighter, always. But when you look at Canelo, he doesn't fight a lot of really slick, sharp, high IQ boxers. He doesn't. If he was to fight Crawford, and this is what people got to understand, and I don't care what nobody say. You guys can feel what you want. Crawford isn't as good as Floyd, man. And I've been said that, and I'm saying plain and simple, he's not as good as Floyd. And defensively, the fact that Crawford can't move on his legs like he used to means he'll momentarily try to move side to side, try to get on his bike little. And the thing is, when he can't get it done, and Canelo's ripping them shots to his body, and Canelo starts connecting, and he realizes how hard and how strong Canelo is, you're going to see the difference. Now, Canelo fighting at this weight at 168 pounds, well, he feels a lot stronger, more in control, put it like that. He's more, so at 168, you imagine Crawford was only able to just move a little to, but Crawford, even when he was, in front of Madrimov, and they were, times that they were mixing it up, everything was in spurts. We know that Canelo, one thing that Canelo knows, it's not wise to get behind on points. Crawford basically is Crawford is about to turn 37 years old, man. Isn't I think before, I don't remember exactly when his birthday is, but I think he turns 37 before the year's out. So, however long it takes him to unify and become undisputed, we don't know. Only time will tell. But my thing is with that is, Canelo shouldn't even be on his radar. And also, he'd be breaking, his own goals. Because according to him, he wants to become undisputed. So if you want to become undisputed, you shouldn't worry about Canelo at all. At this point, it should just be, now he said he only wants 2 more fights. Remember that, right? He said Canelo in a rematch with Errol Spence. But he's also said before that, 3 fights and he'll be undisputed. He shouldn't worry about Canelo. Even if he becomes undisputed, I just don't see his stock going up. In terms of skill, he's not going to get better than what he already is. Okay? And for him to collect all these belts at 154, go up this 168 just to get knocked out by Canelo, he leave the sport a lot richer than what he already is. But at the same time, I mean, he's going to do what he's going to do. I don't see Canelo being interested in him. I think what Canelo wants to do, after the Berlanga fight, should he win, that's the type of competition he's going to continue to fight. And that's pretty much the way I see it. Anytime that you get stripped of your belt because you don't want to fight your mandatories and things like that, and you're headstrong, and it gets to the point where, you feel like you can do whatever you want to do and you're not worried about it, then yeah, this is exactly what type of stuff that happens. You end up fighting whoever, whether the fans are into the fights or not, unless the fans decide to not order pay-per-view, to not come out to the arena to support you, they don't get it. They're going to continue to do what they're doing, because why? Even if you don't like it, but you support it, then you're supporting it. So while he's over here ducking, guys like Morrell, they're ducking guys like Benavidez, and look, Morrell, how many pro fights he has? 11, 12? Like he doesn't have a whole lot of fights, but people see him as a threat. Not even, here's the thing. It's not even like people are like the majority of the people are like 100% convinced that Morrell or Benavidez will beat Canelo. They're saying while they were at 168, why not? These are two of the best guys in the division right now. Why not? Fight them. Go ahead, fight them. Somebody got to win, right? So the thing with Canelo is, he's one of those guys. We know what your abilities are, but you choose to want to just do whatever you want to do, right? But then Terrence Crawford said the same exact thing. I don't care what the fans say. I don't care how they feel. I don't care what they think, right? I'm at a point, I do what I want to do, okay? The problem with that, Terrence Crawford, though, is Canelo feels the same way about you. It's the same way you do, and he also feels the same way about you. Like, I fight who I want to fight, and if I don't want to fight Bud, I don't fight Bud. Even though Canelo clearly ducked Benavidez, I know it's because he sees the threat in him. I'm not telling you I factually feel like he'll just beat Canelo. I don't know that. I'm saying fight him. But he's not there now. And neither is Morrell. So, yeah, he did his share ducking as well. Often fighters will duck another fighter that they probably can beat. But if your confidence isn't the same, then you can lose to that fighter. Now, Benavidez, taller, rangier. I don't know that Benavidez is stronger than Canelo, to be honest with you. I really don't know that he's stronger than Canelo. Just longer, rangier, taller, visually, naturally bigger. But other than that, I don't know that he's stronger than Canelo. Or even if he hits harder than Canelo, to be honest with you. But I tell you what, I don't think Crawford should go past 154 pounds. If Madrimov wasn't naturally the bigger guy, it might have been more of a decisive win, more clear cut. But yeah, honestly, it was an underwhelming fight, man. I watched it and I'm just, it is what it is. And I said, plain and simple, and look, this guy should be food for Crawford. I don't care nothing about people trying to hype the fight up and then talking about how great this guy is. He's much more seasoned than his record shows. What do you mean? Oh, because he only has 11 pro fights, or 12 now. Listen, at the end of the day, man, what's funny is, what's his face? Lomachenko, he's still sour. He's not in a good place right now. He's not. He's not in a good place. Especially for somebody who don't want to fight a guy, but take the time to come to fight a guy, to watch someone fight. And yet you want to spend time with your family. You don't want to fight Tank right now. And he was asked, I saw the interview, he was asked about is Tank the plan next. He says, well, the plan right now is to go and take some time off. You already been doing that. When you walk away from something for a time period, you don't even want to think about it. You just walk away, you get away, clear your mind or whatever. And he's still bitter. He said, I compared this fight to the Devin Haney fight, my fight with Haney. And he says, was that enough to take a man's title? This is what he said, right? So it's like you're going to keep crying over this Devin Haney fight, but at the same time, you fought since then. Okay? You had a chance right now to fight Tank Davis. You understand what I mean? That's what you could have done. Because unless you're going to get over this Haney loss and you're going to keep holding it over your head and letting it hold it over your head, you went and you fought against Cambosos. You fought and you know, twice since the Haney fight, right? Or was it a fight? But however it went, but bottom line, he just fought George Kambosos, okay? And you still talking about Devin Haney. But the funny thing about that is he also said that he thought Pitbull Cruz won the fight. Pitbull won against Venezuela tonight? Okay. Well, anyway. Yeah. I might as well get that out so I don't have to do 2 separate videos about it. That's one of the fights I wanted to see in terms of action packed. And I'm going to tell you what's funny to me is this. He fought Pitbull smartly. He fought him smartly. We've seen him in the past where he likes to mix it up. He was at times throwing shots and loaded up on Pitbull as well, but he was smart. Throughout the whole fight, he had you know, I'm watching him going into the fight. I'm saying, may the best man win. Watching the fight, he's doing much better than anyone really anticipated. And I'm saying, you know what? It would really be screwed up for him to fight as good as he's doing against Pitbull now, just to get caught and get dropped and then get knocked out. So I'm hoping he can keep this up. And, you know, he loves to lean forward, man. I hate that style for fighters, man. It's one thing that you do with to bait someone in, but it's just a part of his style. When he fights, he leans forward. He keeps his chin over his toe, over his knee. And that's like, you know, but he pulls straight back. And why he was able to get away with it for the majority of, basically, you know, the majority of the times when Pitbull fired back is because of Pitbull's short height. And Pitbull just couldn't get to him as fast as he needed to. So it worked for him. Now, he also might have been aware of that and felt less, you know, like he was less vulnerable to that shot, because he was getting, you know, he ate a couple of big shots he got caught with in the fight, but for the most part, he won that fight, and he won it where I don't know where people were talking about how this fight was razor blade. Man, listen, man, I like Pitbull as a fighter too, but stop it, man, stop it. Pitbull did not win that fight. Like, are you serious? That fight was far easier to pick a winner than with Crawford and Madrimov. I think Crawford won the fight. But the way the fight went, it just felt like, Crawford, you understand what he's doing. So it's like, okay, right. Crawford was doing enough to stay ahead in the fight. But Madrimov, don't get me wrong. See, Madrimov wasn't literally letting his hands go either, but it's times in the exchanges where, see, I don't know how the judges are looking at fights, and I'm not focused on them. I'm looking at what I see. But in all honesty, I don't know, man. I don't want to listen. The fight was, honestly, it was underwhelming, man. I watched this fight, and I'm listening to Sean Porter and I'm laughing because I'm saying, you know what, man. Even like when the fans started booing him, and one of the commentators had just said, he's talked about how Madrimov wasn't letting his hands go, and Sean was telling him, like, he knows what he's doing. You know, he's trying to time him. He's understanding what he's doing, and that's what he was doing. I get it. And then he goes, see, these fans, we know what these fans don't know, right? He was trying to low key reference the other commentator as well, because basically he had just made that comment that, you know, Madrimov isn't letting his hands go. So my whole thing with that is like, if we're gonna go by this, like, the champion always gets a decision in a close fight, not always. Most of the time, that's what it was back in the day, and you know what happens now with the favoritism thing, sometime and or whatever. But it is what it is. And my whole thing with any fighter is this: like, if you look at Pitbull, now Pitbull shaking his hand saying that he didn't want to say he didn't have to verbally say it. You saw when they gave a decision, he was shaking his head no. So you know he didn't agree. He was saying right there with his actions that he didn't think he lost the fight. But the way he fought that 12th round, you know he knew he was behind on the scorecards. Because you look at every round in that whole fight, and Pitbull never went at him that way. The entire fight, the 12th round, he fought the hardest the whole fight. Now, he was trying the whole fight to catch Venezuela, and keep him in the corner. And he was just tall enough to like spin and turn and move and, you know, be able to get out of the way of the shots and stuff. But he pretty much he fought that 12th round like, you know, like, I gotta get this guy out of here. That's how he fought that 12th round. That's how he fought it. And usually, what people do in the last round when they know that they have the fight won, they really feel confident they have the fight won, is they don't go at that person as hard. They'll, you know, smart box, jab, move, you know, try not to get hit with unnecessary shots and things like that. And maybe, you know, towards the end, you know, middle of the round, somewhere towards the end, try to seal the deal real quick, get some shit off, snap the opponent's head back a couple times, whatever, and then, okay, last couple 10 seconds, they just distance themselves, get away, just that type of stuff. Jose looked confident when they started giving the decision. That's when I think it was when they scored it for him and then scored it for Pitbull. I'm like, Pitbull is definitely not ahead in this fight. I don't care how much you like Pitbull, he wasn't ahead in this fight. And with that last score, and I'm looking at Jose's face, he's looking like, nah, like, come on, man, don't try to rob me. And I'm listening to the score, and I'm like, nah, you know. And when they said and knew, okay, because Pitbull definitely didn't win that fight. What he did, what Jared Anderson was supposed to do, to a degree anyway, because Jared doesn't move like that. And like I was saying, I don't know if Jared Anderson has it in him to even know how to do that. Remember, and I said, this is where I'm saying I'm looking at it like, I know what Jared Anderson needs to do that would help him to you know, to take this fight from Martin McCauley, but can he do it? And that's the thing. Like, that's why if you look at my videos, you hear me say, Jared should win. On the technical side of things, if he knows how to put it all together and stick to it, because he had the discipline to actually fight a smart fight. And between the two of them, he would be the one. Because Martin McCauley's going to do what he always does. And Jared shows that he couldn't. And people thought Jose was going to do the same thing. I mean, wasn't it Tank Davis say he's going to get knocked out in like 2 rounds? And it's like, he came in there and he showed everybody that, you know, I always knew he was a good fighter. You know, see, when he got stopped by De Los Santos, it was like I said, he let his ego, his temper get the best of him, and he starts, you know, overloading and how he throws those wide shots and leaning, and he was still leaning. Pitbull just couldn't make him pay. So, yeah, but looking at that fight, this is, like I'm saying, man, like, see, people got to understand something. Like, when people are talking this shit, like, I saw some shit where a person said, oh, but Jose didn't win because Pitbull can't fight Mexican style, and Jose wanted to box. And I'm like, well, you want to know something? There's no championship awarded to there's no Mexican championship style, no Mexican style championship. Not in America. It's not. I don't know anywhere where they have that Mexican style. You have to think, man, listen. And I'll say this: I don't give a shit where you from. Okay. Every time I hear that term, you don't have to be Mexican to be a tough fighter. I don't give a fuck where you from. A tough fighter is a tough fighter. So when I hear that term, Mexican style, first of all, it would have been stupid of Jose to just stand there and try to bang with Pitbull. So, I mean, it's obvious the people that is saying that didn't want Pitbull to lose. So it's like, man, nobody care about all that shit. Mexican style, Canadian style, whatever the fuck, Irish style, American style, whatever. Who cares, man? 2 fighters are coming in to do what they have to do. So you're going to, like, try to discredit a fighter because he's not fighting the way you want him to fight, but he gets the win. Come on, man. There's no way that, if you're being honest, that you can sit here and say that you think Pitbull Cruz won that fight. Okay, So Lomachenko says Pitbull Cruz won the fight. So what? So what? You know, um, this ain't about Loma anyway. You know, but everybody has an opinion on everything. Um, and listen, you know, looking at the way this fight went down tonight, or you know, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I think for Terrence Crawford, right? He should think realistically. Like I said earlier, you know what? I'm going to become undisputed at 154. That's my goal. That's my goal. Spence and Charlo are both at 154 pounds. Now, Fundora, if he still has the belt, whatever, and he gets to fight Crawford first, well, here's the deal. If Fundora was to beat Spence, a rematch with Crawford means nothing now. Now, if Spence beats Fundora, that means they both have a title. Okay? You look at Jermell Charlo, right? So when Crawford is saying in 3 fights he can be undisputed, that's the whole point. He wants to fight nobody but champions. Okay, and 3 fights is one more than what he really wants to have. So we know the cash out fight is like, well, Canelo. The problem is if Canelo said tomorrow, I want the fight, he'd hold off on his let me become undisputed. I know he would. I know he would. And after Crawford gets knocked out by Canelo, what's the purpose of going back to 154 to try to start what finish what you started? Nah, I got the money I wanted. He already said. And Bo Mack even co-signed that for him. Boots brings nothing to the table. He's not talking about skills. Now, Crawford fanboys may think that's what he's... No, he's not talking... That's not what he's saying. He's saying he brings nothing to the table. Crawford is trying to get the biggest money he possibly can, and he's not going to get that against Boots. When we hear who Boots is fighting next, what's coming up for him, how big his event's going to be, or whatever, people change their mind when things happen, and it's like all of a sudden, I don't know that, as far I don't even expect Boots and Crawford to fight. Period. That's a fight that I don't even see happening. There's just no interest there. Crawford and them don't have an interest there, and how long is it going to take Boots to become the guy? Like, he's now a pound for pound star. We don't know that. And looking at Crawford's age, I just don't see that as a fight that's going to happen. So, that being said, all right, and let me just say this to you guys, okay? Crawford's 36. He fought a guy in Madrimov that's 10-1. When Mayweather was 36, he fought a 23-year-old Canelo Alvarez that had 40-plus fights. Okay? When you guys make comparisons and you say stupid things because it's all about the fanboy shit and you're talking about who you like, you guys are like dirty cops. What do I mean by that? You guys are like those police officers that will try to take your ID, what's your name, I did all this and that. You haven't broken any laws. You're not suspected of committing any crimes or any of that stuff. They're not enforcing the law. They're trying to enforce their personal feelings. Okay? That's what you guys do a lot of. You're not going by what's really real, what's in front of you, what actually happened. You're going off what you want to happen. So, am I suspected of a crime? No. Okay. I'm not under suspicion of anything. Am I being detained right now? Well, yes. For what? What crime did I commit? Well, you haven't committed any crime. I'm just saying. What's your name? I don't have to give you my name. I don't have to identify myself. These are in your laws. Okay? You're violating my rights right now by trying to tell me I have to identify myself. Yet, I've committed no crime. And it just came out of your mouth on camera. Yet, you're telling me I'm being detained. And then they ask for a supervisor. Supervisor shows up. Now, either the supervisor is going to be a biased asshole and cost the city some money because they're going to get sued, or they're going to tell him, well, what if he hasn't committed any crime? He doesn't have to identify himself. You can't just go around telling people, I need to see some ID if they're not under suspicion for any crime. You haven't broken any laws, any rules. And then at that point, you think that the officer was smarten up, right? All right. No, the ego gets involved. And that's what a lot of these fanboys, that's exactly what these fanboys are doing. Regardless to what's in front of them, regardless to what the truth is, what the results are that you see, you still want to force something to be something else. Now, me saying Canelo knocks Crawford out, once again, I wanted Crawford to win this fight. He got his hand raised. It still was a lackluster fight. It was an underwhelming fight, and there was no excitement there at all. Okay? And didn't Crawford just have a talk with Shakur telling him he got to let his hands go more? Okay, so bottom line, he's in a position where he fought a fight that was underwhelming, just like Shakur's last fight. Simple. And I wanted him to win. If he was to fight Canelo, I want Crawford to win. But I'm telling you, plain and simple, my opinion, my strong opinion, Canelo knocks Crawford out, man. Canelo hits. Listen, people don't get it, man. The dude is strong. He hits hard. Canelo knows how to box, okay? And y'all keep telling yourselves that he'll beat him just like Floyd did. Y'all still don't get it. Y'all still don't get it. I don't think it's a fight that's gonna happen or should happen, to be honest with you. And anybody that's around Crawford should be honest with him and tell him, listen, man, you have heart. You're not scared of a challenge. I commend you. What I always say, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. I don't think he should go past 154. Now, listen, he has the right to go up as high as he want to go up. But I put my money on Canelo. That he'd knock Crawford out. Like he'd stop him, he'd knock him out cold. Don't get hyped up by commentary and people trying to tell you how great somebody is. Like you don't have two eyes to see what you saw. I mean, I watched the fight, and like I said, I heard Sean with all that praise. He's been talking about how when he fought Crawford, how the crowd was going to, but they didn't understand what was going on. Like, man, stop. Like, the casuals don't. And it's a whole lot of them, okay? But I'm no casual. And people that understand boxing, I don't care how much you wanted the fighter to win, and I wanted Crawford to win this fight. I was putting for him to win the fight, but at the same time, it was an underwhelming performance. And the fact of the matter is, he respected Madrimov's size. Okay? He's telling Bomac the punches don't hurt. Okay, so what? Didn't y'all just criticize Boots for the same thing a couple weeks ago in his fight? And what was I saying in my own video? You could see the punches wasn't phasing Boots, but he still should have did a better job defensively. You understand what I'm saying? The punches don't hurt, but damn, he's scoring. Show better defense than that, Why is it any different for Bud? He's telling his coach that the punches don't hurt. So what, man? You are a boxer, and that's what you take pride in, man. You letting this guy hit you with them shots, like, come on, man. And that's when he was trying to sit down on his shit. You think that he's gonna take them same punches from Canelo? Like, do you really? And people don't understand that. He respected Madrimov at 154. Now he's gonna go up past 160, straight to 168. And you think that he's gonna be able to move more? And he's gonna be like, listen, they both getting older. The difference, though, with Canelo Canelo's explosiveness, he comes in, he keeps his hands up high, right? Crawford's going to try to move, but you got to land something. It's not like Canelo's walking in and getting punched around. He's coming in and he's making guys not have nothing to hit. And his body attack and everything Canelo does is calculated. Just the way Crawford's calculated as a boxer, but Canelo needs his legs. Crawford needs his legs to move. Canelo fights in a style where he's going to walk you down and he's right in front of you. But he can box and he has the hand speed as well. And even if Crawford's outboxing him, bottom line is I can see his body getting punished, and I can see Crawford, Canelo just chopping him down. And once again, I know people look at John Ryder, they look at the other fights that he's had at 168 and go, Crawford's better than those guys. Yeah, he is. But you want to know what he isn't? He isn't as big as those guys. He isn't as strong as those guys. You understand what I'm saying? So if you can't hurt Canelo, Canelo's on your ass. You think that if Bivol didn't have power and he was just boxing the way he was, that Canelo wouldn't have walked him down and was able and got to him? Yeah, he respected that power, man. And that was at 175. So here's a guy that went all at the 175. And we talk about a guy that started out at 135 and worked his way up to 154 and had a tough fight with Madrimov. So you guys telling me even after watching Madrimov fight tonight, for all of you that didn't see him fight before and you seen him tonight, you still think that you think Madrimov right now, you think he'll go up to 168 and beat Canelo because he moves his upper body a lot. Crawford doesn't have the kind of power Canelo has. He has the speed, but his legs are not there. Let's take a guy like Stephen Fulton, who's in his physical prime, right? When he fought Inoue, right? Inoue's in his physical prime. When he fought him, and the way he fought, and just stylistically overall, that's a fight, the perfect example of flash and flare. Can he box? Yes. Just not on the same level as Inoue. Now, Crawford and Canelo, different situation in terms of the skill levels. But case in point, what I'm saying is, Stephen Fulton's style, to me, his style, I just didn't see him beating Inoue. It's like when Sean B. Mitchell fought Floyd Mayweather. I remember I was at work one night and everybody was saying, that's going to be a great fight. Yo, yeah, Sean B. this and this and this. Now, in my mind, I'm saying I think Floyd going to beat the shit out of Sean B. Mitchell. And I like Sean B. Mitchell as a fighter. But that fight between Floyd and Sean B. kind of reminds me of the fight with Inoue and Fulton, where Sean B. Mitchell was a good fighter. And because of who he's fought, for the people that thought he was going to beat Floyd, it was more of they wanted to see Floyd lose than you really believing in your heart that he was going to beat him. Now, with Stephen Fulton, the things that people were saying about him in terms of giving him, the benefit of the doubt to win, my thing with that was, okay, Inoue's fought better competition. A lot of time, the guy that fought lesser competition still wins. So it's not like that's a gimme. It's not a guarantee just because of that. But I took all that out aside, and I just looked at the two guys, and I'm like, okay, stylistically, for Stephen Fulton, people tell me he's the bigger man. All right, so Inoue's going up, but Fulton, when I said his power is not going to be the issue is going to be him not being able. He's not going to be able to really find Inoue. That's the way I saw the fight. But Inoue's not going to have trouble finding him. He's gonna be better at finding him than Fulton is at finding him. And basically, the thing is, Inoue can outbox. He can outbox Fulton, long range, mid range, close range, and he can hurt Fulton. Now the thing with Fulton is, he likes to take his time. He throws a lot of slap shots. So basically, Inoue with his IQ and knowing how to avoid those shots and to get around them and impose his will, everything I said showed in the fight. Fulton just couldn't get to him. And even when Fulton did catch him with a good shot, I remember one good hook, I think he caught with a right hook, stopped Inoue right in his tracks, and Inoue was waiting to see what else was coming. And I said, okay. And Inoue sees. He doesn't want to mix it up. He was hoping that shot did something, but nothing followed it up. And what did Inoue do? He just picked him apart and eventually stopped him. Now, case in point, what I'm saying with all of that is, every time you see a fighter and they look good against certain people, then you think like, well, damn. And look, Crawford is an established fighter, and so is Canelo. Fulton is an established fighter, and so is Inoue. But the difference is one guy was way better than the other, and that's Inoue was better than Fulton. And it took them to be in the ring for the Fulton fans, okay, for the Fulton fans to see that this wasn't even close, okay? And this was Inoue coming up in weight against a guy that's not a big puncher, so even though he's coming up, between the two of them, Inoue was the much bigger puncher. Now, think about what I'm saying. And this is two guys in their physical prime. With Crawford and Canelo, you're talking about a guy in Crawford that can't move around enough, the way he would need to be effective with in, out, get his shit. He can't do it. And if you can't keep Canelo off of you, let's be real, it's only a matter of time. People used to say Ali, Holmes fought just like Ali. No, he didn't fight just like Ali. They were very different. He imitated Ali. Yeah, he imitated Ali, but they were very different. And in fact, when people would say, oh, he danced just like it, no, he doesn't. You can't find one Larry Holmes fight, not one, where he can dance for 15 rounds. He couldn't. He didn't have the legs to do that. And this is why a lot of fights, when you see with Holmes, where he's earlier rounds, he's winning, he's throwing his shots at everything, and he's right. And then all of a sudden the fight gets harder. Why? And guess what? He danced around a little bit, and everybody starts cheering. Because why? They know Greg Page, all those guys, they were all imitating. Carter Truth Williams, they were all imitating Muhammad Ali. So yeah, they cheer because he's imitating him, but he hop around. And then all of a sudden, guess what? All that little bouncing around stops. Right? He didn't have the legs to fight like Ali. You watch Holmes. Holmes only do a jab one, or jab right hand, and just moved and danced and danced and danced, walk around, swinging his arm in front of him, get back on his butt. But he couldn't do that shit for a whole round. Fuck 15 rounds. He couldn't do that for a whole round. That's not what Holmes did. Ali could do that shit. Move, feint, get in, get out, use his legs to get in, get out, turn on certain angles. He did that shit. Bait you, catch you. He controlled the way you moved. Holmes didn't do that. And he didn't have the legs to dance for 15 rounds. So when you say they fought just alike, no, they didn't. They fought very differently. And Ali didn't go to the body. Holmes went to the body a lot. Oh, yeah, and Holmes tried to knock you out every shot. He was trying to knock people out. Whereas Ali, he letting his hands go when he needs to, and he just catching you. If the knockout comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But he was just going to beat your ass all night. They were very different. You watch them fight, you'll see what I'm saying. It's just that Holmes imitated Ali. So basically, my point in that is, when you fight similar to someone, people think like, it's like saying, if Ali can beat a person, Holmes can beat him too. If Ali can't beat him, Holmes can't beat him. That part is probably true, People saying Adrian Broner fight just like Floyd. No, he mimics Floyd. They were very different. Okay, so just saying, here's a fight because Floyd beat Canelo. That's one of the main reasons a lot of the Crawford fans are saying it, and the Canelo and the Floyd haters are saying it, because they want it to be true. They want to be able to say, and they want to be able to say and try to make it a point to say that Crawford not only beat Canelo, but he beat a better version of Canelo than Floyd did. And it's like, you guys can say all of what you want to say. Floyd is not, Crawford is not as good as Canelo. I mean, it's not as good as Floyd. He probably can land some shit on Canelo. Yeah, I believe he'd be able to land some shit. But Floyd, you understand something? Canelo's catching them shots. He's not coming in getting beat up, man. Okay? He's not coming in just getting beat up. Bivol fought a smart fight and fought a very disciplined fight. And Bivol can box. And the thing with Bivol is, see, y'all try to make Madrimov sound like he's as good as Bivol or something. No, Bivol was overlooked, wasn't popular. Just because you're not popular doesn't mean you can't fight. All right? And people tried to make it seem like that's what the case was. Okay, well, doesn't matter. Just understand, I feel like Crawford shouldn't get greedy. I mean, if he's doing it, we already know. He said, plain and simple, he already made it clear. Fighting Canelo is going to do a hell of a lot for his bank account and his legacy than it would if he was to fight Boots. So we know that that's not happening. So for Bud to want to just a couple more fights, as less fights as possible, you know, cement my legacy to even more accomplishments and hit that lottery, get that lottery fight. That part of him becoming undisputed at 154 is possible. But getting the Canelo fight, to me, not happening. And then two, even if he did get it, in my opinion, the best thing that's going to happen is the payday. I just don't see him beating Canelo, man. I just don't see him beating Canelo. I just don't. And it doesn't make a difference if people start saying he was old or Canelo was too big. It doesn't matter. In between the two of them, Canelo is not even looking at Crawford. Crawford is looking at Canelo. So, I just, you know, listen, like I said, hey, man, I'm not going to tell him he shouldn't do it. I'm saying, from my perspective of me looking at him, I don't see him being, I just don't see him beating Canelo, man. So, I mean, hey, man, if you're going to do something, believe in yourself and go in there and give it everything you have. But he struggled in there against Madrimov tonight. All right, now y'all can try to make Madrimov to be better than what he is. Doesn't matter. Y'all can and should Madrimov go in there, and I mean, it's not like 154 is really deep. See, people talking about, oh, 154 deep now. Why? Because Crawford's there and Spencer's there. Someone that he already destroyed. Fandora. You know, Tim Tszyu. He has heart. He comes to fight. But, I mean, are we really going to play that game and try to act like 154 is full of just super talent? No. So, the accomplishment, just to say I was champion again, okay, great. I'm undisputed in a whole other weight class. Great. No problem. No problem. But the Canelo fight, yeah. That will be it. He doesn't beat Canelo. I don't see him beating Canelo. And also, if Madrimov goes and beat whoever, it doesn't matter. But should he lose to somebody, especially if he gets knocked out or even outboxed, either way, but he goes in there and lose, once again, people are going to start looking at Crawford a certain way. And like I tell you, fanboying don't change anything. You can be as biased as you want. I'm telling you guys, I wanted to see Crawford win. He got his hand raised. Was it a lackluster performance? It was the fight was just, it just was underwhelming, like I said. And there was just nothing, the fight, I'm watching it and I'm just like, okay, I clearly see what both guys are doing and trying to do. But the fight was just underwhelming. And I really don't see a reason, honestly, for Canelo to even want to fight Crawford. Honestly. And I say that because if you're looking at him going, eat this dude, man, and it's like, okay, right, I'd rather see you stop ducking the guys that you should have been fighting, but they're no longer at 168. Now, let's be real. What makes Canelo look bad is, okay, you don't have a problem fighting the other guys coming up from smaller weight classes to fight you, but then when it comes to the Crawford, you're saying you're not going to get full credit. And this is what I'm saying to you. Doesn't matter. We can sit here and make all these points. We can agree with each other. We can do it. Doesn't matter. The reality is the fight's not happening because Canelo, just for whatever, and let's give him the benefit of a doubt, and let's say that in his mind, that he's telling the truth, that, hey, I'm not going to get full credit. Why? I don't really buy that shit in a way. I mean, it's like, if he really feels like that, it's hypocritical, like I've stated before, because one, you went up to 175 and got beat by Bivol. Bivol wants to come down to 168 and beat you, but you refuse to fight him. Even the guy that he fought, remember in Floyd and Canelo said, if Bivol wins the fight, then I'll fight him. But if he loses, no fight. And I said, man, he's not gonna fight Bivol. And the fact that he's basing it on if Bivol wins. Bivol went in there, beat the dude, no problem. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Mauricio Suleiman steps in, and all of a sudden, because, you know, Bivol's from Russia and the war and all of that, and like you know, all this nonsense, and then Canelo has no interest in fighting him. So, for that to be the case, right? You don't even want to fight the dude at the weight class that you said you feel like you're the best at. Period. At 168. So, that all, you know, whole thing with Crawford and him saying he's not going to get full credit. Well, I mean, that's the excuse that Canelo fans tried to make for him when he lost the beat. Well, he was just too small. But he dared to be great. Okay. All of that shit changes nothing. You know what's not going to be attached to your win-loss record? Well, he lost the fight, but he dared to be great. If they were the same size, he probably would have won and all that. That shit means nothing. So, it is what it is, y'all. But, yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, Venezuela did a fantastic job against Pitbull. He fought Pitbull, and let me say this. I've been saying this for the longest. Guys like Pitbull bring excitement to the fights because they go for the knockouts, and you know, the fans get into it, and the electricity's in the air when guys like that fight. But skills pay the bills, man. And my thing with him was, you know, was he gonna get in there and get to that point where he's letting his hands go with that slapping wide shit that he normally does? And they tightened that shit up. Now you see, this fight was a perfect example of what I'm saying, how when a fighter understands the assignment and they apply that shit, versus a motherfucker who flash and flare, got fast hands, can punch, but don't know how to fight a disciplined fight. And he did that shit all night long. And the entire fight, the commentators kept questioning, saying, can he do this for 12 rounds? Can he, right? And it's understandable. And then watching him fight, it's like, wow. He you know, like I said, constantly leaning forward, man, and dropping the hand down, and like, yeah, those things are happening. But I'll tell you what, y'all, when you break it down and look at what he did, he fought the type of fight, man, that, like I said, when you are a boxer, he had a 7-inch reach on Pitbull and 6 inches taller in height. So there's times at close quarters, man, where now it's one thing when you beat a guy in every dimension, okay, long, short, you know, long, medium, on the short range, long range, you know, mid range, whatever, and won't let a guy get comfortable. No matter where we are, I'm going to beat you to the punch. I'm going to outpoint you. I'm going to put some hurt on you, whatever. But when you're that much taller and have that kind of reach. There's no need for you to have to be so close. Now, it's great for you to know how to defend yourself at, every range. But, yeah, so that was there, that whole, he might mess around and get clipped because he keep doing this and doing that. But, hey, man, he did what he had to do, and he got the win. And that's what boxers are supposed to do. Fight and win. Now, compare that fight, right, with Cruz and Venezuela to the Crawford and Madrimov fight. What was more fireworks? I mean, the Bukoly-Anderson fight, Anderson went in there and fought stupidly and got his ass got stopped. The prelims, I remember what was this guy named? Something Nelson. Was it Steven Nelson? Dude came in there. I don't know if his trunks is made like that or if he actually had on some jean shorts that was sagging or some shit, like some weird ass outfit he had on. But damn, like these dudes, it's like it in terms of excitement, in terms of anticipation. I never felt like Crawford or Madrimov was going to get knocked out. You never know, but I didn't. With Bukoly and Anderson, second round, I'm like, man, Anderson, I think he's going to get knocked out. Just watching the way he fought and how he got dropped and like just the way he reacted to getting dropped, I'm like, nah, the way he fought. By the second round, my mind was made up. I think he might get knocked out, man. Like I told you in the last video, I was talking to my son. I said, nah, I think he's going to sleep tonight. Like early, 5th round. Okay? So, looking at the fights, other fights on the card. Ruiz and Miller, which I got a separate video on them, so I'm not going to get to them right now. But, salute to everybody on the card, man. They came and did what they had to do. But, I really don't see Terrence Crawford. Regardless to what he chooses to do, I'm saying Canelo knocks Crawford out, man. He's not going to beat him with that style. And what is he going to do differently? And if you think his power is going to carry over to 168 when he couldn't stop Madrimov, when he was catching with flush punches, he couldn't even back him up. And he's going to back up Canelo all of a sudden. Hey, man, it is what it is. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings out the people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.